Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5:30.
A Pulaski County family continues to look for justice 5 years after a young man was killed.
Jack Hanna's Into the Wild is in Richmond for the next couple of days. And right here we've got a baby red kangaroo. We'll see this and a whole lot more. Stopping by Richmond, and I'll have more on this coming up for you in just a couple of minutes.
And free airline tickets. Sounds too good to be true. Coming up, why it's important to read the fine print.
WKYT News at 5:30 starts now. Good evening. It is an anniversary they have no plans to celebrate, yet a Southern Kentucky family says they still want November 9th to be known as the day an important part of them was lost forever.
That date is the 5-year anniversary of the murder of Kevin Price, a crime that still has not been solved in Pulaski County. WKYT's Phil Pendleton talked with Price's grandmother. She says the loss of her grandson has caused a pain that never seems to heal. It's our top story at 5:30.
And there's no such thing as too much love.
Pictures are a big part of Leela Whitaker's home.
And I don't know, he was probably about 17 there.
And in her kitchen, she still has many of her 21-year-old grandson, Kevin Price.
It's hard to even look at him, that it don't bring tears.
Price was murdered shortly after he left work on November 9th, 2009. His truck was found burned in a field nearby, and almost a month later, his burned remains were found on the other side of the county.
I can't say that I've just got 2 grandsons. I still say I've got 3 grandsons. 2 of them live in Lexington. The other one's living in my heart.
No arrests, and to Whitaker, that means no justice.
It's been 5 years, and I think this has been the hardest year because there has been no justice. I've dreaded this for the last 3 months, this date coming up.
But police tell me that they have been able to name some persons of interest or possible suspects in this case, but they say they just don't have the evidence they need to make arrests.
Kevin's last Thanksgiving with us.
His disappearance came right before Thanksgiving, his funeral during the Christmas season.
There's never a family gathering that we don't say something about Kevin.
So they're hoping the new year brings new answers in Pulaski County.
Because Kevin deserves no more, no less than justice.
Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
And there is a reward for information that leads to an arrest in that case. Kevin Price's father tells us they are purposely keeping the amount of that reward secret and only told us it is significant.
A man is fighting for his life after being stabbed twice in the chest last night. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Laurel County. That's where police say Paul Minton went over to his neighbor's home in the Ravenwood Estates near London and threatened him. We're told Minton's actions were aggressive, prompting his neighbor to stab him twice. Minton was airlifted to University of Tennessee, where he is in critical condition. As for Minton's neighbor, police say they have not filed charges because they believe this was a case of self-defense.
Somebody comes on your property and you feel threatened, you feel like your life is in danger or that you might receive serious injuries, you have the right to protect yourself. And we believe at this point in the investigation that may have been the case.
Police say it's possible that Minton could face charges, but everything will be submitted to the Laurel County Grand Jury for review. In Mason County, a tip leads to an investigation at some property on the west end of Maysville. According to the Ledger Independent, a community member told a Maysville police officer that he'd heard about a crime that happened in 2012. And since Tuesday, officers have been searching a property along Germantown Road with cadaver dogs. Police have not said what the nature of the crime is or if they have found anything at all. And in Fleming County, a new section of the Flemingsburg bypass is now open. Traffic is now moving from Maysville Road to Old Kentucky 57 at Sleepy Run. Old Kentucky 57 will be closed from downtown to the bypass until Sunday. Officials spent the afternoon striping the road.
Good news, it's Friday. Not such good news if you're not a fan of cold weather, is it's going to be an interesting weekend, and then wait for what comes next week. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is letting us know about the weekend. Colder, you think?
Yeah, a little colder, especially to start things out there, Sam, with a cold front. Another cold front that is on the way for our Saturday. Absolutely spectacular sky cam as our sun is calling it quits for the day. Check that out with the beautiful high clouds that are beginning to show up now across that skyline. Trying to get a little better focus on that one. Those are ice crystal clouds that we're seeing that are filtering in. Kind of looks like a painting, doesn't it? I mean, I guess that is a painting on our skyline that is out there now. Absolutely gorgeous. Temperature-wise in Lexington, 44 degrees with a mainly clear sky with some of those ice crystal clouds. No real wind to speak of, so we're not concerned about a wind chill this evening, but a quick drop in thermometers as the sun sets with dry air that is in place. Live First Alert Defender, calm and clean across the region. Here is our next front that we're tracking into town for your Saturday. That has a little more in the way of some clouds and gusty wind, so it's overall a windy and a chilly weekend as we await the arrival of Arctic air that surges in next week. Guys, when I come back in a little bit, we're talking about a pattern that looks like winter in the 7-day forecast.
This sounds like so much fun. A wild school day for some students in central Kentucky.
I can only imagine. Popular zookeeper and Emmy Award-winning television host Jack Hanna stopped by Richmond to show off some animals from around the world. WKYT's Jim Caldwell met up with Hanna today. That's a story that's new at 5:30.
This is going to be fun.
Jack Hanna's Into the Wild program will be making a stop in Richmond at the EKU Center for the Arts tonight. But earlier in the day, he took his program to the Model Laboratory School in Richmond and gave the kids there and some of the adults quite the treat.
What is that, kids? What is that?
Hanna is in the middle of a tour that features several states, including this stop in Kentucky. He's educating folks about different types of animals they can see from around the world, and he's bringing them all right here.
The show tonight will be basically some videos. I'll show 2 or 3 of the ones I showed today, but this was the little kids, the big kids. Tonight they'll see mountain gorilla, for example. Only 700 in the world.
Aw, so cute.
The appreciation he finds on folks' faces, both young and old, that's the real pay for when he comes to do such an event like this.
Lemur! They're kind of cool.
One of his favorite areas to visit, that would be the rural areas, because those folks out there, they see things that they normally wouldn't see.
It's a sloth.
But the joy I get by seeing this is beyond comprehension. And it's not because of the money. It's because I enjoy talking to people who just are amazed at the animals.
I never knew that they could actually hang upside down.
While he makes money from doing events like this, he gives nearly half the money from his tour away to charities. In Richmond, I'm WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
I'm a huge Jack Hanna fan, so jealous of Jim Caldwell today. Hanna's event, by the way, starts at 7 tonight at the EKU Center for the Arts, and Hanna says his show is for all ages, whether you're 3 or 100.
A warning for consumers tonight: if you receive a letter that looks like it's from an airline claiming you have been awarded tickets, be careful. It could be part of a gimmick. Who wouldn't like to get this letter in the mail saying you have won 2 free airline tickets?
We caution consumers to really read the fine print.
The letter says the recipient must attend a seminar. Postal inspectors refer to solicitations like this as the classic bait and switch.
They bait you with 2 free tickets. And you're like, oh, I'm going to get 2 free tickets. Of course I'm going to go to this meeting.
Once you go to the meeting,
here comes the high-pressure sales pitch and the presentation that you're going to miss an opportunity if you don't sign up for this travel club. There's a lot of pressure to sign up, and it's well over $10,000.
Inspectors say these solicitations are usually full of red flags.
Con artists will take names of legitimate, credible companies, and they'll use a variation of the name, or they'll twist the name.
In this case, it's the use of U.S. Airlines versus U.S. Airways.
If a unsuspecting consumer would get this solicitation for free travel tickets, 2 airline tickets, it might not register with them right away that U.S. Airlines isn't even an air carrier.
Hundreds of victims complained to inspectors and said the letter was completely misleading.
And they were saying that they had to go to a sales seminar, which they really didn't want to go to. They said that they had a high pressure to purchase a package or a travel club. And those that pushed it, they advised that it was very difficult to get their tickets.
Postal inspectors say if it sounds too good to be true, it likely is.
In this day and age in our economy, you don't get too much for free.
U.S. Airways calls the letters fraudulent in a warning on their website.
The Home Depot data breach has gone beyond just credit card information. After the break, why you should keep an eye on your email.
I'm Bill Bryant. Lexington Mayor Jim Gray talks about why he thinks voters gave him a second term at City Hall. A meeting of the powerful today in Washington, and more details about Crit Llewellyn becoming lieutenant governor. Coming up on The Bottom Line.
And a scam warning for people in Rowan County. Folks going door to door posing as home health care workers. What to look for coming up on WKYT News at 6.